Next class period, ladies and gentlemen, we'll talk a little bit more about how to use the period, what they call the period as an aid. But pretty much when we're looking at an angle, we're trying to find an angle that's on the unit circle. The unit circle we have existing from 0 to 360 or 0 to pi, 2 pi, right? If we're going around revolution over revolution, wherever we end up on, all those extra revolutions are just redundant, right? Does that kind of make sense? If I'm looking at, if I have a circle, let's say it's the unit circle, and I have an angle that's at square root of 2. That's the point where it ends, right? There's infinite many ways for me to get to that angle, right? I could do that. I could do that. I could do that, right? So going around and around and around is just redundant. The angle still starts here and ends there. The point is still square root of 2 over square root of 2, right? Does everybody understand that? So you're just using coterminal angles. So if I give you an angle and I say, what's the point? At what point does it end at? It's actually 5 pi. Well, 5 pi is greater than 2 pi, right? So if I was going to find this angle, well, here's where it starts. Here's my unit circle. So here starts. Over here is how far in radians? Pi, 2 pi, 3 pi, 4 pi, 5 pi, right? So that's now where it ends. So the point on my unit circle, what's this point? -1, 0. All right? But what I'm trying to tell you guys is you don't have to keep on, you don't have to draw every one of those. You can simply just take 5 pi and find the coterminal angle. So if I wanted to find a coterminal angle, if at 5 pi, if I want to find the smallest coterminal angle, am I going to add 2 pi or subtract 2 pi? Subtract. That equals 3 pi. Is that the smallest angle between, is that between 0 and 2 pi yet? No. So subtract 2 pi again. Right? So what I'm doing is I'm literally just erasing. There's 2 pi, doing it again. There's 2 pi, and let's do it again. Boom. So the angle is just pi. Right? So now let's go and evaluate our 6. So at pi, we know the angle is -1, 0. So now let's go and evaluate our 6 trigonometric functions at -1, 0. So remember, we have an x and a y coordinate. And just like I talked about last class period, if we're doing sine of t, because we had sine of t equals 5 pi, which is the exact same thing of pi, right? Sine of t of 5 pi is the exact same thing as pi, because 5 pi and pi are what? Anybody know the definition? Starts with a coterminal, right? They have the same initial and terminal side. So our initial functions, sine just represents the y coordinate, which is 0. Cosine represents the x coordinate, which is -1. Tangent of your angle represents y over x. Oh, I forgot to write those. Equals y over x, which in this case is 0 over -1, which equals 0. Then our reciprocal functions, which is cosecant of t, equals 1 over y. Well, 1 over y is 1 over 0. Can you divide by 0 anything? No. So guess what? That is an undefined function. Secant of t, I know, crazy. 1 over x. 1 over -1 equals -1. Then we go to cotangent. Cotangent t is equal to x over y, which equals -1 over 0, which equals undefined. So in this example, ladies and gentlemen, we actually have 2 undefined functions. OK? There you go. Guys,